Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author of The Crimson Cure. And this is my perspective, and I want to welcome you guys to the last installment of our review for co-parenting with the Sperlings, season 2, episode 7, which is Top Gun. And this is essentially the finale of the series because episode 8 is a recap. Episode was actually very important for a couple of reasons. We got to see Stephanie take the boys to see her side of the family, see their cousins and their grandfather and things of that nature. And so what we get to witness is a few teachable moments between the grandchildren and their grandfather, which I thought were really sweet moments because he was teaching them how to fish and teaching them just valuable life lessons, things that I think a lot of children nowadays don't get exposed to. They don't know a lot of things. They know how to use an iPad or they know how to use mobile devices and things of that nature, but they don't know anything about survival or, actual life skills and the things that those skills teach you. So I thought that that was a really, really important segment to show. One thing that I thought was interesting as well was Stephanie admits that co-parenting is like almost like a legacy in her family. There isn't a section there that where she's talking to other female family members of hers about co-parenting and all of the things that come after a divorce, after a relationship has ended, and how you need to co-parent and moving beyond your bitter emotions in order to co-parent successfully. And given the note that it ended on, given the note that this episode ended on, I thought that that was a very, it was a conversation that was capped. It really was a conversation that was capped because we'll get it towards the end of it, and I'll let you know why I thought that that was sort of capped. Because of the way in which it ended. But moving on, I thought it was real nice to see Dennis sort of spend time at the gun range, purchasing a couple of guns and things of that nature, and having a conversation, the uncomfortable conversation that Black fathers have with their Black sons about the injustice of racial profiling and the injustices that they are going to face simply by being melanated young men, Black young men, and the perceptions that the world is going to have of them despite who they really are, despite what they really about, despite how intelligent they may be or successful they may be in their lives. There are those people, those entities, those institutions that are going to see them as nothing more than a Black male menace, something to be stopped or something to be handled, gotten rid of, perhaps. And so therefore, That is always an uncomfortable conversation to have with the boys. He explains to them who Thurgood Marshall is and why there's a picture of Thurgood Marshall in his office. Why was he important? And so these were teachable moments, and his sons seemed to absorb it the best that they could at their young ages at this time that it was filmed. Because you have to remember this was a few years ago, and his sons were younger then. And so getting down to the meat of this episode, Dennis ends up having a conversation with Stephanie about seeing his boys more, and not just seeing them more, having more access to them because they're getting older and they need him more than they need her. Think about when you watched Boys in the Hood and Cuba Gooding Jr.'s mom, Trey's mom. And she brings him at about 10 years old or so. And she drops him off at his dad's house, at Furious's house. And she basically said, look, I handled the first 10 years. You handle the next 10. And she did it in a real ratchet way, but she had a point. Though that next set of 10 years, he's going to have to learn how to become a man. And I am not equipped to give him the necessary lessons and all the necessary things that he's going to have to know in order to become that man. And so you as his father, this is your responsibility. I spent the first 10 years nurturing him. Now you got to spend the next 10 molding him into a man, which is something that I cannot do. So I want you to kind of keep that scenario in mind, because the conversation that Dennis has with Stephanie kind of reminds me of that dynamic. And he's basically essentially telling her, listen, you're going to have to relinquish control, and you're going to have to basically let these boys go, because they are older and they're only going to get older. They're not going to get any younger, and they need a father at this point more than they need their mom. They don't need the coddling and the babying and all of the things that you do as a mom. They now need the type of disciplinarian, authoritarian love and care and rearing that a father is going to give, and that only a father can give. The parenting style, the type of love, the type of interaction between mother and child and father and child are all very different and both very necessary. But they're both necessary. So we can't say that the child only needs their mom, or that they're cool only if they only get their mom. And because we know that puts children at a great disadvantage when they don't have their fathers active in their lives. And so we can see that Dennis is active in his children's lives, and he always has been. At the same time, he starts talking to her about it, and the excuses that she gives were very selfish. This is probably the most selfish you're going to see Stephanie in the entire series, is when he gets to talking about more time with his children and more interaction with his children, and basically essentially sort of giving them to him more or less. And this wasn't to cut her out of motherhood or make her insignificant, but they need him more. They're at an age, they're in their adolescence, and they need him more. And it just is what it is. And she starts talking about the routine's gonna get broken, and what about, the day-to-day, the run-of-the-mill things. Are you ready to do that with the children? And I have them, and that's gonna, basically she's gonna be disrupted. And she tried to sort of say it like it was the children that were going to feel it the most, but really it was her. And really, if you read between the lines, she was saying, listen, they're here with me, and as long as they're here with me, I'm going to be able to have control. I'm going to be able to, use them as leverage to get things and to be included with things and to sort of be orbiting your life, more or less. We're not together and all that type of stuff, but she's not moving on either. Not really. I mean, she had that little date, but what was that? I don't even think she liked that guy. So you could hear I'm not ready to relinquish leverage and control in what she was saying, because what she was saying didn't have more merit than what he was saying. Her argument against giving him more access and more time to be around the children, it didn't really hold much weight, is what I'm trying to say. And they were very selfish reasons that she was giving. And it's like, you're going to have to enter into a space where you can see the greater good for the children more so than you can see you. And the reason why the series ends is because shortly thereafter, Dennis enters into like a custody battle with her. So co-parenting with the Sperlings actually ends, right? It ends on that note because he had to go into a legal battle with her, a full-blown legal battle over custody and, parental rights and things of that nature. And it's a sad end, because this is why I say the conversation is capped that she's having with her female family members, because if we're talking about making co-parenting work, and if the father is saying, I need more time with the children, then what mother doesn't want to get? These are older boys. These are not suckling babies or toddlers or anything like that. These are older boys. So what mother wouldn't want to say, hey, take them. It'll be my chance to be the gym shoe mama. You know what? I'm not even going to worry about what you're going to do for breakfast. I figure they'll eat. They'll eat. I'll see them. You're not trying to keep them from me. I've never kept them from you. So, I don't assume that you would keep them from me or X me out or alienate me as a mom or as a parent. And so that's why I said that the conversation that she was having with her female family members was capped. What you want to do is you want to check out, because as usual, the link to the episode is going to be in the description box. So go ahead, hit that link, watch the full episode. Subscribe to Dennis Sperling's channel to watch all of the rest of the episodes. And while you're at it, jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to this channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.